All right, we are back in our playlist and we are going to look at the next piece of material or resource that we can give our learners, and that is the quiz. Quizzes can be used two ways as formative and summative assessment, just like you traditionally would in your learning environment. We'll drag this onto the playlist line, just like we did with the assignment. We'll go ahead and go in this quiz, and we can either create or find an existing quiz. Just for the purposes of this, we're going to create a quiz, but just like in the assignment, as you saw in that video, you can search by ID number and pull in an existing quiz in the Find a Quiz feature. So we'll create a quiz, and I'll show you where that ID number is again. That's right here inside the quiz. 23203 is this one. I have these learning targets that are added to this particular quiz based on the big idea. I can add more targets if I need to here. For right now, I'm going to leave that as is. We have a few ways, again, that we can use this quiz, formative or summative. This is practice with no scores. We can do formative, which generates an evidence score that goes in the scores evidence section of the scoring tab. And we took a look at that in a previous video. We also see that I can do a summative assessment, which goes into the evidence score as well as the score standard section of the gradebook. I'm going to leave this as a formative for this time, but you can change that whichever way you'd like. Before I get too far, I better change the title. Quiz for letter ID, since that's what we're working on. I have a few ways that I can show the results. I can do a finished statement, which is just general overall, how did you do? I can show the score results, which is every particular question will show how they did, right or wrong. I can show full results with correct answers, and I can show the full results but not have any correct answers. So I'm going to go ahead and show the full results and hide the correct answers. Student access by default is locked. I can unlock it, which means it's ready to go and ready to be used. I can time this if I'd like to, and I can also randomize the order of the questions. You'll notice as I'm making changes, you see this saved up here so that you know that, that the quiz is saving. I can go ahead and give some overall directions here. Please complete this. And then I'm ready to finally start adding some questions. There are a few question types that you can add, most of which are automatically graded, which is great. So anytime you have an activity or assignment that is black and white, multiple choice, true and false, those kinds of things, fill in the blank, use the quiz and leverage the ability to get that immediate feedback to your learners. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new question. I can choose from multiple choice with a single answer. That's the circle dot box for one answer. Multiple choice with multiple correct answers. True and false, which can be used as a yes or no, black and white, anything binary. Fill in the blank. All those four types are automatically grading. So I can get immediate feedback on that. Then there is an essay question that can be used as short answer, that can be used as essay. And then there's this drawing type, which is particularly good for an iPad, however, also works on a laptop. Start with single answer multiple choice, just to show you how you create a particular question, and then I'll differentiate between all those types. So points is set as 1 by default. I can weight that higher or lower if I'd like. I can add it to a bank, which means later when I want to load questions, I can pull this question from the bank. So as I look for things in the 102 learning target, if I've checked off this add to a bank, I can just pull those up and not recreate new questions each time. I can also give copyright access to a publisher if I've pulled this from, let's say, the series or something like that. Which letter starts the word cat? And I'm going to give some correct answers here. C, we'll do A, T, and I can choose to stop there since those are the only letters, but I'm going to just go ahead and add a fourth since that's a pretty traditional thing to do. And then I can add more if I like to as well. To delete, I just simply hover over and delete. And then I'm ready to move on with my next question. As you notice, there's one correct answer chosen. I could create B as my correct answer if I wanted to, but of course, C is the correct answer. There is no feature created directly in this to have that question automatically read. I know that that is something that our Schoology users are used to using. However, there's no feature for that here within Empower. But the good news is there are accessibility features built right into the iPad and Mac that can help with that. So on an iPad, if you turn on Screen Reader or Speak Screen, the learners can use 3 fingers and swipe down from the top of their screen, and that will read the question aloud because they are shown one question at a time on the screen. And on your Mac, which I can demo right here, you can highlight that text, right click, and speech, start speaking, and that will be read aloud. There is also a keyboard shortcut for that, and I can pull that up. I go to System Preferences, Accessibility, and learners will have access to some portions of System Preferences, accessibility being one of them this year. And I can do speech, and I can create that keyboard shortcut to my preference. So if I'm going to be using that a lot, I can make it whatever command I want. By default, it is Shift, Option, and S together, and that will speak any selected text so I don't have to right click speech and start speaking. So that is built in there. You can alternatively attach an audio file if you'd like to create that with QuickTime, or you can also do a video version of that. You could cover your camera and simply speak, or you could actually show your face and read that sentence or word, whatever the case is. So that's how we can compensate for the audio there. Now that I'm done this question and you know about the audio, I'll go to add a new question. Everything is the same for the multiple choice multiple answer as it was before. However, this time I can choose B and also select a correct answer there. So now A and B are correct. I can accept partial credit, or I can say, no, they really need to get both of those in order to get that question correct. That's up to me. Everything else is exactly the same. I'll go ahead and add a third question to show you true, false. Again, very much the same. Type my question in here, assign points, add to a bank. Gonna say, yes, it's true, no, it's false. If I wanted that to be a yes, no, inside my directions here, I would just say select yes for true, no for false. Or you could alternatively make that in a multiple choice question. Fill in the blank. I am bird, cat with the letter. And we're used to on Schoology, for those of us that were Schoology users, putting an single underscore for an answer that is shift minus, and that will generate my answer space here that the learners are going to have to fill in the blank for. So then once I've done that, um, I'm going to go ahead and here type in my correct response. Learners will see this sentence and they will have to fill in that correct response themselves. So that is a fill in the blank, and that also automatically grades itself. Essay questions are simply going to give learners a space where they can type out their essay. They will have a full palette of formatting tools that they are able to use, so that's very nice. You need them to hyperlink evidence or something like that in comparing, contrasting, and presenting evidence, inserting pictures, things like that. And then last but not least, really effective for math questions, there is a drawing type question. Looks very much like the essay. This time learners have the full palette that they can type with, but they can also use their finger on an iPad to draw. On the Mac, they can use their trackpad to go ahead and draw. So those are the question types that are currently available inside the Empower quiz. Again, multiple choice, multiple answer, true, false, and fill in the blank are all automatically grading. I hope that you found this video tutorial on quizzing helpful, and as always, thanks for watching.